Hi, John.
Hi. Good evening in China. Good morning from the U.S. Very interesting day here. Thank you for joining us from Wake Forest University School of Business and our master's programs. I'm going to talk about three masters today: the Master's in Management, the STEM Certified Master's in Accounting, and the STEM Certified Master's in Business Analytics. Please turn the slide. Okay, it looks like it has frozen.
I think you might have a little bit like a lag. So you can refresh the page, or you can just wait a little bit and you still can continue to talking.
No problem. We can keep talking.
Okay.
So we are on the, it's still lagging, I think.
Did you already refresh the page?
Yes, I did refresh. So we are about 2 hours from the capital, actually an hour and a half from the capital, Raleigh, North Carolina, in a very, as you'll see on the screen, a very, and we'll turn slide again. These are some pictures of our campus. Sorry, we're having some connection issues in the United States today because of the amount of web traffic due to the election yesterday. So here are the three programs that I'm going to talk about: the Master's in Business Analytics, the Master's in Accountancy, and the Master's in Management, which also has an MBA pathway. Turn slide, please. We put the student at the center of all our programs, and you will see that the student is supported during the experience at Wake Forest by your enrollment management team, which is my team in the upper left quadrant. The lower right is Integrative Student Services, which is the students that the staff member that is here to support you through your academic and curricular experience. The upper right quadrant is your program faculty and leadership. We have small programs, so we have very high levels of faculty and staff support for students. And the lower right quadrant is market readiness and employment, and those are our career coaches, and they help you find a job, whether it's in the U.S., your country of origin, or a third country. Turn slide, please. We'll first talk about the analytics program, if you could turn the slide. Thank you. So this is a class profile, and you will see that our programs are very small by intent and by design. We want to make sure we can offer students a high level of support and engagement. You'll see that students come from all around the U.S. and all around the world in our programs, with 74 different colleges and universities and 37 different majors. And you'll see that about 42% of our cohort in this program is international, and most of our students do come from China. I just saw a question in the chat. I don't know who's going to win the election, but I have my opinions. Next slide, please. It's the question everybody wants to know here in America. So you will see our programs start in July and finish in the following May. So they're 10-month programs. We have a summer session, and you will see the coursework listed here. And again, the critical thing in our MSBA program is that we really believe in the intersection of business and data science. So really constructing what we here in the U.S. call a T-shaped person who understands business but also understands the data science side of things. Turn slide, please. Looks like we have a bit of a lag again, so I apologize.
Yeah, maybe have the lag issue, and this one is talking about MSBA careers. Can you see the PowerPoint now?
I cannot, no.
Okay.
Okay. Careers, always a good thing, right? Everybody wants to know where they're going to go after an investment in the master's program. So you'll see a lot of brands very familiar to you in China and around the world, certainly. There's the U.S. The employment outcomes. We are still working on our class of 2020 employment outcomes. We do not report those until November. The program, as I mentioned, is STEM designated, which currently gives you the opportunity to stay in the U.S. Up to 36 months versus the standard 12 months, if that's something that a student is seeking. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is our accounting program. This is also a STEM designated program, very popular. here in the US. We are a top tier program. We have had the #1 CPA pass rate, 17 out of the last 20 years. The US average pass rate is about 50%. And at Wake Forest, our pass rate the first time is 90%. So very highly ranked and a highly accredited program. Turn slide, please. Next slide. Again, very diverse cohort, small, again, you'll see 106 students in this program. We purposely keep these programs small by design so that we can offer high levels of faculty, staff engagement, as well as support for international students in the career search and in the classroom. Okay, next slide, please. This is the curriculum. We offer 3 tracks. The biggest thing you'll see is on the right side is analytics. We weave analytics through all our programs, and especially as well in the accounting program, because all the national and regional firms in the US, what we call the Big Four here in the United States, Deloitte, EY, PwC, KPMG, have asked for an increased output in students who understand analytics. So analytics is now core to the requirements within the MSA program. Next slide. You'll see we offer 3 tracks here in the MSA program: the assurance audit track, the tax track, and then the financial transaction services track, which is unique to Wake Forest. Next slide. This just shows how popular each track is for students. A lot of our students really like the audit track. Tax generally tends to be of the least demand from students, and then financial transaction services, again, which I mentioned is unique to Wake Forest. No other program offers this track, is currently the most popular track, and that's for students who are looking to go into eventually investment banking, M&A type work, or advisory consulting work. Next slide. Next slide again. I just want to keep us on time. I lost time last time. We offer 2 different track options. There's a 2-semester option and a 3-semester option. And after a student is admitted, you will work with our career coach to decide which path is the best path for you. Next slide, please. This is just a quick recap of the 3-semester option. Next slide. And careers, again, a significant investment in a master's, so we want to make sure that every student graduates with a successful career outcome. In the MSA program, you will see we have our 2020 data already. That's because we hit 100% employment in September for all students, regardless of country of origin, so that is very exciting for both us and our students. You will see the Big Four and then a bunch of national and regional U.S. firms. And as I mentioned, because of the influx of analytics into this program, it's now a STEM designated program. So again, the ability to stay in the U.S. potentially 36 months versus the standard 12 months. Next slide, please. And then beyond public accounting, this shows other companies and firms that our students go to. Next slide, please. You'll see again all around the U.S. and 11% of our students choose to return to their home country. Next slide. And I know I'm probably going to have to start clicking pretty quick because this is where I tend to get talking for a while. This is our MS in Management. This is a business program or a master's program for non-business majors. So it is a top-tier program designed for liberal arts majors to get those technical and critical business professional skills in 1 year. Next slide, please. Again, very diverse program, also very small. You'll see 126 students. That may feel small to others. That feels really big to us at Wake Forest. But again, small class sizes, high levels of student support. We'll continue, please, with the next slide. This is the curriculum. You will see very standard business curriculum. It looks very much like the first year of an MBA program. So you'll have those critical business skills with those critical professional development skills, and then consulting projects all throughout the program. We offer now 3 specializations, so students can pursue in the second semester if they want to pursue a specialization track in marketing, healthcare, or what we refer to as strategic resource management. So finance, human capital, consulting, data analysis. Next slide, please. This is something unique. So we have something here at Wake called the MBA Advantage. An MSM alum can return to Wake Forest within 5 years, either online or on campus for the MBA Advantage. I got it. Next slide, please. And this is something we have special to Wake Forest called the International Leaders Program. So this is only for international students. You can pursue the MSM and then stay for a second year at Wake Forest and pursue the MSBA. So in 22 months, you will graduate with 2 master's programs and finish with the STEM designated MSBA. Next slide. This is just another student profile. Next slide, please. Again, attributes of the International Leaders Program. You start with the MSM year. You finish with the MSBA year. You are automatically admitted to the MSBA if you enroll in the MSM in year 1. And again, you'll see the STEM OPT attributes as well. Next slide, please. And careers. So if you don't do the ILP, what we call the International Leaders Program, this is the kind of companies that students will go to work at. And you will see that most students who do the MSM program go into financial services, consulting, or what we call here in the US CPG, which is shorthand for consumer packaged goods. Companies like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and other global companies. Next slide, please. This is just focused on the graduate student clubs and organizations, so it's not all about studying. We do want you to have a life outside of the classroom, so we offer lots of student organizations and outlets for you to participate in. Next slide. Looks like there's a bit of a lag, so I think it's my contact information slide. So I'm happy to take questions now if you would like.
All right, thanks for your great sharing. And now we're going to jump right into the Q&A session. And the first one is, who will sponsor students' working visa?
So if you're asking for specific companies, I cannot name them right now, but I do know that when you work with your career coach and every student is paired with a career coach, you will obviously target companies that will sponsor. So every career coach works with a student one-to-one. And you work on both a US-based search, a home country search, and a third country search. But I do know that many students have been successful in finding US-based outcomes.
All right. And the next question is, how many school clubs do we have? Or you can just introduce popular school clubs or organization to the students?
Mm-hmm. So I did share that slide, but we have an International Students Association. We have a graduate consulting club. We have a graduate women in business club. So the International Students Association, I think for this group would be the most relevant. And you work with a staff member on each program to come up with co-curricular and extracurricular events to help acclimate international students into Wake Forest.
All right. And the next one is, what's the weather like there? And it's a lot of rain?
No, actually, I'm originally from New York City, which is the largest city in the United States. And I moved here in the early 2000s. The weather here is superb. The average temperature is 70 degrees. It is very sunny, and we are in the southeast of the U.S., so we do not get a lot of bad weather. We maybe get about 3 snowstorms a year, so it's very, very minimal. It's also, here to us in the States, we live in a city of about 500,000 to 1 million people, so very small when compared to a Chinese city.
All right, and the last question is because of the COVID-19, so it's safe to study next year?
So we have been very fortunate where we are. Wake Forest is a small private university. We have 8,000 students, graduate and undergraduate. So we have been very successful in managing through our COVID-19 cases. Of course, like everybody, we've had cases. Our current case count is only 55 students, which is pretty exceptional. You can go online if you have access. We have a publicly accessible website where you can track COVID cases. But yes, our plan is we have remained open this fall. So we have students on campus this fall, and our plan is to remain open next semester and then open again next summer.
All right, great. And you saw earlier and have a student ask, who is going to win this collection? And I think they really care about your opinion. So would you want to say something about this?
So it is a very tense time in the United States right now, to be candid. If you're reading articles and things, I have my own opinions about who I hope will win the election, and that is a candidate who is much friendlier to higher education and much friendlier to international students coming to the United States. So I think you can probably figure out who that is. And I will also tell you that despite what you may see and read, that most people's opinion is that we are very welcoming to international students. We welcome international students here in the United States, and we are very concerned about the current situation. But we do not know yet who the president is, unfortunately. I went to bed last night. It's very early here in the U.S., and we still do not know the outcome.
All right. Thanks for your answer, John. So that will be all for your session today, and thanks so much for your coming. Thank you. Have a great day.
It's always a pleasure. I love talking with students. So please do connect with me anytime. You've got my contact information. Thank you.
All right. Bye.